Hello and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Everything I will discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Now, today we're going to get into some things. I've been out here just really doing a deep dive on this D'Angelo situation and just the way that he passed away so suddenly without seemingly anyone knowing that he was suffering from pancreatic cancer. But before we get into that, I wanted to share something else about D'Angelo that I never knew. I'm not sure if you guys knew it. So we're going to share something a little bit lighter first before we get into the deep stuff. Hey, Paula, thank you so much for being here. So glad to see you, sis. So let me go ahead and share this clip so that we can talk about it. Let me just make sure you guys can see it before I hit play. Okay.
D'Angelo hated this, and I'm gonna tell you why. In honor of his legacy, you should too. When D'Angelo came out with his first album, Brown Sugar, in 1995, he was a 5'6", socially awkward musical genius. He was like a Prince, Kanye, like the first Kanye. He played multiple instruments. He was always behind the piano performing. He wasn't really this symbol of sex. As he was working on his second album, Voodoo, he got in shape. But when it was time to do the video, How Does It Feel? I believe the first single, the label, all the team people said, take off your clothes, sex sells. He didn't really want to do that. That's not what I'm about. I'm an artist. He did that, and all of a sudden, boom, that's all everybody wants to see. It made him very uncomfortable. He goes on tour. He's doing all his songs from Brown Sugar, all his songs as a musical person. Everybody's just yelling in the audience, take off your shirt, take off your shirt. It makes him still very uncomfortable because that's not who he is. He takes off his shirt, and then it becomes an issue where sex symbolness is bigger than his music, something he never saw himself as. He's having anxiety about looking that way always. He has to look like the video. He's gained a little weight. People are saying, oh, you done gained a little weight. And now his image has become bigger than his music. At this point, this made him not want to do music no more. This is why I am so strong, and I tell black men all the time, when you're a little different and people gonna ostracize you, you got to be so strong on your self-love. You got to be so strong on who you are because it would destroy you, and that's exactly what it did to D'Angelo. D'Angelo got on drugs really bad, became an alcoholic, got DUIs and terrible car accidents, broke his ribs, everything for years. He lost $1 million record deals, all of that because society controlled him and told him who he was. He didn't even want to be neo soul. He just wanted to create music. They put him in all these boxes as a sex symbol, as neo soul, all these things that he didn't want to be, and it caused him to have depression. He got out of that, and he won his first Grammy in 2001. 16 years later, after winning that first Grammy, he came out with the Black Messiah. And in the Black Messiah, He got his artistry back, gained a little weight, and when he did, society did nothing but pick on him. But they couldn't pick on the music. That is D'Angelo's legacy. And it makes me uncomfortable to see people talk about his sex symbolness when it made him uncomfortable. And I think as a respect for his legacy, learn about his music, learn about his artistry, learn about him as a pianist, as a drum master, as a learn about his songs and his songwriting. Learn to focus on that. Focus on what he would want you to focus on. That's all I got to say. D'Angelo hated this, and I'm gonna tell you why. In honor of his legacy, you should too.
Okay, so did you ladies hear that? Hey, Sharon, thank you so much for being here, sis. So we talked about it when I first covered that D'Angelo had passed away. We talked about when he made that song, How Does It Feel? The whole body. So obviously, there's a lot of truth to this, okay? Because obviously, when he made that, that song, whatever, that's what really put him on the map. It was that body physique for me, okay? So that was something that I never knew, that he struggled with body image and people wanted to put him in that bubble to where he was like a sex symbol. And that's really not who he was. And I was very shocked to find out that he was only 5'6". Did you guys know that D'Angelo was only 5'6"? I believe I heard him say 5'6". With that physique, I never would have guessed that he was 5'6". Okay. But however, it worked for him. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about, I have another clip to share, but the next thing I really want to talk about is the fact that there's been a lot of talk that this is not a coincidence. Okay. Because if you guys remember, Angie Stone died on March 1st. But before she passed away, I remember her doing a video and she was speaking about the fact that somebody had injected her with something and she almost died. So they pretty much had to replace all of the blood in her body because, all of her blood was contaminated with whatever they injected her with. And something else I didn't know was the fact that when she did pass away, when she was hit by that 18-wheeler truck, I believe she was leaving Montgomery, Alabama. The truck that hit Angie Stone was full of brown sugar. Okay? Just like the song. Like, guys, do you really think that this is a coincidence? So back in March, D'Angelo was supposed to go on tour with Jay-Z. Now, I don't know who owns these people catalogs, but the music industry has really gotten weird. Okay. And at this point, I don't even see how anybody would even want to go into the music industry because it is absolutely dangerous to be in the music industry at this point in time because you're actually worth more dead than you are alive. And Sharon said, D'Angelo was so talented. I thought he was taller, but then again, I was focused on his body and voice. Exactly. So, what I have found out about pancreatic cancer is that if you can remove sugar, which seems to be like another coincidence, from your diet, then you could potentially beat the pancreatic cancer. But if you don't know that you have pancreatic cancer, obviously you're going to continue to do what you're doing and you won't change your eating habits, when that could ultimately extend your life. So it is also being said and alleged that D'Angelo could have potentially been injected with the pancreatic cancer. Okay. Because this man was getting ready to drop new music. He was going on tour. Like he was doing his thing at the time. And then all of a sudden, he was supposed to do an event and he had to cancel the event because he said that he had some type of surgery and there were complications during the surgery and it was taking him longer, to recuperate from the surgery. And then the next thing you know, and I believe this was back in Mm, I want to say May, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to go off memory. And then all of a sudden in October, this man has passed away from cancer that it appears that nobody knew he had up until he passed away. Now, have any of you guys heard anything about these allegations? Or is this all new to you as well? Because all of this stuff is getting really creepy because Angie Stone did allege that she was owed money by some people. Again, we don't know who owned Angie's catalogs or who produced her music or whatever the case may be, who was making money off of her, who owed her money. We don't know any of this information. At least I don't know. There's somebody out there that knows. I don't know. So it's just very strange that this happened to so many entertainers where they're out here saying that people owe them money and then mysteriously these people are passing away. This can't be a coincidence. Okay, got you, Sharon, got you. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to hear more about this coming up in the future, but this is very strange. And the fact that these two were tied together and they have a son together, Angie's oldest son, because she did have two kids after the son that she had with D'Angelo. They have a son together, and mysteriously, they are both deceased in the same year. So I don't know if this just a sad tragedy and a coincidence or there is some foul play involved. But I am definitely going to be, keeping my ear to the streets and I'm going to be looking out to see if we can get some more information because I don't know. This is very creepy and it's very sad. Now, I wanted to also share a post that their son made, just in case you guys don't know who their son together is. I'm going to give you guys a quick look. Okay. And Sharon says, I'm leaning towards a conspiracy. You hear so many things. That's why a lot of people, they're not signing contracts anymore because at the end of the day, it's just not worth it. Okay. So Angie Stone was born Angie Laverne Brown on December 18th, 1961 in Columbia, South Carolina. She grew up in the church singing gospel before she formed Sequence at age 16. Stone, Cheryl, the Pearl, Cook, and Gwendolyn Blondie Chisholm became the first female rap signed to Sugar Hill Records. Their breakout single Funk You Up peaked at number 15 on the Billboard US Top Black Singles chart under the guidance of Sylvia Robinson. They released other popular records, including Monster Jam with rapper Spoonie G and Funky Sound, Tear the Roof Off, before disbanding in 1985, the year after she welcomed her daughter, Diamond, with ex husband Lil Rodney C. Stone later became the lead vocalist of the trio Vertical Hole, formed Devox with Lenny Kravitz's cousin Jerry DeVoe, and worked as a songwriter and background vocalist on D'Angelo's Brown Sugar and Voodoo. Around that time, she officially became a solo artist and released her debut solo album, Black Diamond, in September of 1999, the year she welcomed her son, Michael Archer II, with D'Angelo. Okay, so that's his oldest son, but it's Angie's second oldest son or child. Now, I'm not gonna play all of this video, but I do want to, and I'm gonna have to find it. I already know. Um, I'm going to play a little bit just to show you guys the relationship she had with her son, which I thought was very unique. Let me see if it's showing up. Okay. Give me 1 second. I thought this was so funny. And it kind of reminded me of the relationship that I have with my sons. Like, I totally get it. I'm afraid to be in the car with them. It's just a different type of energy. Like, I am afraid to death because young people, they drive a little crazy, they drive fast, and you just never know what to expect. So I'm switching over to this video. Give me 1 second, guys. Funk You Up was the jam back in the day. I hope this is okay. Okay.
Look, first of all, it's been a minute.
First of all, it's her birthday, man. Wish her happy birthday, man. Balloons in the chat, man. Balloons in the chat.
I'm gonna need you to
Happy
calm
birthday.
down.
Happy birthday.
Pay attention to the road.
Happy birthday.
You know what, y'all? This is why I decided.
Guys, it's her birthday, and her son and her kids or family members, they're taking her out to dinner. So this is just, they're in the car, they're headed to dinner.
To go live today because my son has road rage mental problems.
Yeah, we're gonna be wrong
Okay,
today.
there's a lot of traffic out here, and this raging fool over here. Okay,
Mama, you know
I have to look because I don't want nobody to jump out their car and come at me because you
Mama,
acting crazy.
all these years I've been having road rage.
Listen,
did something to you.
Listen.
Never.
Mike, you are so bad.
Why would they do something to you?
I'm
standing right here.
Not you. See me? I would run clean over a person that come in front of me by anything, cause I don't know what you're coming for. You should have stayed in your car. But him, he'll sit there and have a confrontation, and somebody pull out something. People are going crazy today. You don't know. Hush.
They not like that though. They not gonna really do that. They scary. That's why they do that.
A scary person don't jump out their car and run to a car with two black people in it and one that's 3 times their size. They gonna knock them. They crazy.
Now, if you guys don't know, her son, he's also an artist. He makes music as well, and I heard his music is pretty good. I haven't had the opportunity to listen to any of it, but I heard his music is pretty good as well.
To run up on you.
So he's definitely musically inclined like his mom and his dad.
You don't play the radio. You just can't beat me.
Right.
That part.
That part.
I'll take something and knock you down. I mean that.
I don't know smoke like
But anyway, I want to know if anybody else is experiencing riding with their kids. They blasted music for hours that are the millennial style. I mean, I can't get no classic, sexy, dope music.
I just play Luther Vandross.
No, you play Kendrick Lamar and a piece of Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
No, he got to use Luther to get on. Come on now.
No, don't.
Now, don't make me start calling y'all out.
Be careful. Be careful.
I ain't got to be.
Watch.
Look at that. They running from Kendrick Lamar. I love Kendrick Lamar. But I'm going to tell you this.
Yes, fix that.
Shut up.
Fix that.
First of all, Kendrick Lamar, none of them don't scare me.
Fix that.
And I'm
Guy won't even let his mom talk. Like, he is too much. But I love their relationship. Every mother and son, have their special relationship. And you can tell she's talking noise, she's talking trash, but she's actually, you can tell she's so happy to be there with her son, okay, celebrating her birthday. And Sharon says, in my opinion, the coincidence is when Angie started asking for her money and her health declined rapidly. Absolutely. And that's what we remember. Like, it went down so fast because I know, if I'm not mistaken, in November of 2024, because, I did, you know, take a good look at her Instagram. She was talking about putting out a Christmas song. I mean, Angie was doing her thing. Even the night that, she died, like, she had just left from performing, somewhere the same night she died. So Angie was still doing her thing, so I guess the first attempt at her life didn't work and they were able to save her. So they decided to go another route with this 18 wheeler, and they were traveling on the road at 4 o'clock at night. And what's so strange is somebody in her camp had to set that up. And if you listen to her, how she's talking about being so afraid of being in the car with her son, about all the traffic, like, she talks, this is a very, very long video. I only played about a minute or two. This is a very long video, okay? And she talks a lot about people on the road, the traffic, all of that. So it almost sounds like she's almost afraid of being in the cars because the roads have gotten so dangerous. And I absolutely feel the same way. I feel like just driving on the road, you're risking your life because it's so dangerous because there are so many uninsured drivers. So if they hit you, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep going. So she really showed that her fear for being in the car, especially with young folks who are not paying attention, who are talking, who are listening to this loud music. And I almost feel like she went live just so that she could call him out on it so he would stop, you know respectfully. She wasn't trying to out her son. She just went live so everybody would know what was going on and that she was kind of like, in fear a little bit because she's in the car with her son and he's, so focused on what she's saying on her live that he's not. And she kept telling him, focus on the road, pay attention, you're driving. And he kept butting into her conversation. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here. So she was really calling her son out, but she was also letting us know how, afraid she is of driving on the road. So for her to be hit by an 18 wheeler at 4 o'clock in the morning, like, I'm even shocked to even know that she was on the road at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know. So everything about, the way Andy Stone died, the way he died, it's all very suspect. And, you know, they say that, people get their karma in due time, but I really need for these people who are killing off these celebrities, I really need them to get their karma ASAP before we have more deaths. of our Black artists. I really need that to happen because it's really getting ridiculous. Like, even what happened to Jamie Foxx, I mean, like, these people are really getting away with murder. And it is also being alleged that he was working with Jay-Z. So, it's being alleged that even Jay-Z could have had something to do with this, you know. And we don't know what Jay-Z got going on because he's always behind the scenes, but his name is always coming up in some deaths. So, like, what are you really hiding from, Jay-Z? Why are you always behind the scenes, but we're constantly hearing your name, especially when somebody has passed away, or especially when there's a scandal and you're trying to cover something up? Like, really don't see it for Jay-Z. And I hate the fact that Beyonce is married to this monster because everybody can't be lying on Jay-Z. I'm just saying. Like, I truly believe that Jay-Z is just as much as a monster as Diddy behind the scenes. But like, um, what's her name? Um, Jaguar has said that he's even a more bigger monster than P. Diddy, but he's smarter and he just knows how to cover it up better. He knows how to play the game and not get caught. So I am waiting. I want Jay-Z to go down. I'm sorry. I want Jay-Z to go down. I hope that Beyonce is not caught in the midst of this, but she really does need to get away from that monster. And I hope that she's really still out here touring and, getting her ducks in a row because at some point she's going to leave this monster. And that's really what I wish for Beyonce. And I just hope she doesn't get caught up in any of this because at this point, like, Jay-Z, you need to be counting your days because your days are numbered because you cannot continue to get away with unaliving people behind the scenes, taking people's money, because a lot of this is happening because these people want their catalogs. They want their music. So if they're no longer here, then either they'll get the money from the insurance because insurance, when when you own, when you have an artist, then you can put insurance policies on them. And if they pass away, then you can collect. So they're either doing it for the insurance money or for the catalogs. And they're going to leave these people's family members and kids out here with nothing. And Sharon said, yes, his name is coming up a lot lately and not in good ways. Exactly. Like, we're not seeing him really, really, but his name continues to come up. And I think that is so strange. And who would have known that D'Angelo was working with Jay-Z? So now these conspiracy theorists, they're going to get out here and they're going to locate the details. And hopefully, we'll get the answers that we need so that we can find out what's going on. Like, why are all of these people falling off? Especially somebody who we had no idea was suffering from, you know, cancer. And I just don't think it's too far fetched that somebody can be injected with cancer. I feel like people can be injected with cancer. They can be injected with heart attacks because we know that that's another way that a lot of celebrities have been unalived. I feel like they can be injected with pneumonia. We all know that a lot of celebrities have been injected with pneumonia. So it's not that far fetched that they can be injected with cancer. Now, if your money is right, like it was for Jamie Foxx, you can hire the right team to get you back together. But if you're somebody like a D'Angelo, because he was just getting himself back together. So he didn't have the type of money that he could, have the best doctors to be able to save his life like Jamie Foxx. So I believe if you got the money, you can bring in the right doctors and they can save your life. But outside of that, you don't stand a chance with these people. So I believe that, allegedly that's what happened to Angie Stone as well as D'Angelo. They had a target on their head. And this is very sad for these people to be taken out of their family's life, all for, money hungry people that want to make money off of people. So guys, this is going to be the end of this video. I want you guys to dig a little bit. Help me dig. Like, I can't come up with all the answers on my own. I want y'all to follow the other platforms that are looking into this and see what you can find out. And we really do need to revisit this conversation. And we need, because this is just too much of a coincidence for both of them to pass away in the same year. And the fact that when Angie Stone was unalive, she was hit by an 18-wheeler that was loaded down with brown sugar. Make that make sense. Like that just doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. But you guys let me know what you think. And guys, if you did not like the video on your way in, please like the video on your way out. And if you just happen to be catching the replay, please drop down in the comments and let me know what you know so that, we can get some answers, so that we can share our thought process and we can come up with more information to figure out whether this was a coincidence or was this foul play. Somebody has the answers, and we need to get to the bottom of this because these are two beautiful people that shared their life together at one point. I want to say they were together for about 4 years. They had a son together, and this is just not right. And something needs to be done. Like, I feel like their family needs justice. Yes. Have a great day, Mama Bees and Sharon. And guys, don't forget, if you're watching the replay, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.